Hello, my name is Egle, and I'm here to share my experience about my dry fasting process. So, I decided to come this January this year because last year I had neurological Lyme disease, which came because the doctors forgot to tell me about my positive Lyme disease test for at least 8 weeks, and then I got incomplete course of antibiotics, and of course it didn't help but made me ill, and I developed neurological Lyme disease symptoms. And somehow, I don't know how, I'm so grateful that I discovered dry fasting and Dr. Filonov, and straight away I knew that was a right way for me, and I came in January, and after that life never has been the same for me. And there's so much to tell. First of all, I felt that even after this one fast, my Lyme disease was gone. The Babesia bacteria, which I had, and neurological symptoms, almost all of them were gone. And after I finished my fast and came back home, of course I was a bit weak, but at the same time full of energy. And after my recovery period, I noticed that I stopped thinking about Lyme disease. It was gone from my life, like really, it was not anymore. And I decided to come back now to heal a bit deeper, and also to consolidate and seal my healing, so to make sure that the Lyme disease won't return. But it changed not my health, but not only my health, but it completely changed me energetically and my life. And before coming here, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I will be forever grateful. So first of all, the Lyme disease symptoms didn't return. I saw my memory improving, my brain fog, I didn't get any numbness in my hands and my face, which was very scary. Then my heart rate normalized, my sleep, my breathing, there was no fight or flight. But the most important thing that, after this fast, I became the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I'm not exaggerating. I feel like I was the happiest, even happier than I was a kid. Because actually I grew up with a lot of trauma. So in a way I was a happy kid, but I went through a lot. And after this fast, it changed me on such a deep level. And I released in Montenegro not only Lyme disease, but toxic thoughts in my head, all the toxins. And I was like a different person. I didn't have the same thoughts anymore. And when I came back, I just actually couldn't recognize myself. I was, I got really the feeling of being worthy of all the beautiful things in my life. And just then they just came rushing at me, came flowing, into my life. Love flourished, love came into my life. I left my job because I felt worthy, to do something that really nourishes my heart. I was high all the time. I was so elevated that, sometimes I didn't know where to put all this energy. I was like a kid. At first I was like a newborn. Then I was like a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old. And why is this so special is that I got a real experience that I could raise myself. I was like a kid and an adult in one body, and that was a very surreal experience. So I had too much energy, and sometimes I would say I feel like I'm on steroids all the time, and I just don't know what to do with this energy. And I would say, Egle, please just don't overwhelm people and your friends because we don't understand. And I can see that I was a bit too much for people, but in a way I didn't care because I became so authentic and so myself. And, it's just such a precious gift because I realized that authenticity is the most beautiful in us. And this method is so graceful because it heals us on all different levels. We are not just physical bodies, like we are energy, and we create also our illnesses also energetically. And in a way, they are meant for us, and not to weight us down or to defeat us, but to let us grow and mature and to really teach us. So this is very profound process, and I could never have done this on my own without the support of Dr. Filonov. Also, what else? Well, first of all, I stopped caring what people thought of me, because a lot of people thought I was crazy or hardcore, and even I was called that I'm approaching anorexia, because people who don't really research or don't know about this method, they get worried without having any knowledge, and they can really discourage that. So my best advice is to not take in too much what other people are saying, and to trust the heart and the inner feeling. And really, it was amazing to really let go what people were thinking about me. And actually, I stopped explaining myself to people. I really stopped explaining what I was going to do or why am I doing this. And I truly trusted my gut feeling, which became really strong. I also stopped caring in a way how I look. After fasting, I stopped wearing makeup, I didn't care. I would get up from bed and just go. Maybe like a kid, I don't know, like a child, but it was so freeing, I stopped putting all kinds of toxins, on my body. And my diet was good before, but in a way it was so much easier to change all kinds of habits after fasting, especially with a diet, because in a way all food is very tasty, and I naturally just really enjoy and crave. So I changed my food, and all simple, natural, healthy food was really very tasty. So after fasting, it's so much easier to change the habits that maybe we were trying to change for years. And also, I really developed this gentleness with myself and real self-love. So for me, that was a lot about actually letting go of perfectionism and rules, and just being gentle with myself. So I stopped pushing myself in any kind of way. I stopped pushing myself to go cold swimming every day and to stay for long. I stopped doing yoga for according to a recording. I was just so creative suddenly, and just doing what feels good to me, really honoring my body and myself, and not perfecting myself in a way. And I realized this is so beautiful, because our healing journeys, they're not supposed to be perfect, and they never are. It is that. And as I was saying to my friends, when we imagine something, we think we really have this oh, I would love, when you really like someone and you're dreaming, oh, I would like to be kissed under a magnolia tree or on the top of a mountain. The food became all very delicious, so it was easy to change any kind of unhealthy craving habits. And I felt I was quite good with my exit food, and naturally, because I had so much this vital energy, and everything was making me happy. So the food was just extra bonus, And Dr. Sergey Filonov is my beloved doctor, because he let me drink coffee and red wine and other things, and he always stresses that in life is the most important, the middle golden rule. So balance, not going to the extremes. And actually, that's what I healed, going to the extremes, because I was pushing myself to perfectionism. And I guess it's not by accident that I manifested this Lyme disease that led me to this experience, because I was always like creating rules for myself to perfect myself, because I didn't feel like good enough on some like deep level. And after fasting, I just threw that away, and I learned like real self-love, because I became gentle with myself. And I knew that the most important thing to heal is relaxation and small steps and self-love and self-compassion. And to make big changes, we need to start small and to really believe in ourselves. So I stopped doing any kind of hardcore things. Like I used to do a lot of cold swimming and stay in cold water for a long time. So then I just started to just dip myself into cold water and receive just pleasure, but not like fight or flight mode. And I stopped like doing like yoga according to like 1 hour long recordings. I started my own yoga, how I like it. And I just started to explore like without rules, really like a child. I feel like in healing, we really need to become like children to ourselves, and at the same time to look after ourselves. And that's where the healing comes from. Yeah, what else? So really it taught me such great self-love, and I'm still learning, and I'm really understanding what it really means to become healthy on all levels. But also because it transformed me so much energetically, so my life just picked up so much, and I have so many ideas, and I really feel worthy of like, for example, having like a good job and to earn good income and to do what I really want to do in life, and just to serve people and to share my gifts. And I can really see my gifts now, and yeah, I'm not self-conscious at all, and I think that's like the biggest gift in itself, because then I can truly enjoy my life and my journey and my process, and to support people like on their journeys. What else? What else happened? A lot's happened, but yeah, I kind of never lost that state, I thought that it was going away, but I just kept feeling like high energy all the time. And yeah, it was a bit weird. And also get acquainted to this like normal world, because at first I was too sensitive, so I had to shelter myself a little bit from like outside world. I had to pace myself not to go to like too many gatherings, because that would overwhelm myself. I would be too sensitive. At the same time, I felt like my connection with people really deepened. Another weird thing that with other ladies from the first fast, we found that we could almost communicate telepathically, like read each other's thoughts. And after I came back home, I felt, this is weird, but I feel like I can read people's thoughts. That it is not something I really want to do, but sometimes it helps, sometimes it actually is not helpful. I could read my flatmates' thoughts or like my other friends, and somehow I would knew what they were thinking, and I could just reply. Yeah, but I hope that it will help me in the future. Actually, after coming back, so yeah, I was like part of nature. So like I became this wild and free woman that I always wanted to be, because really like not caring about like too many things, and also, yeah, what I wanted to say. Yeah, just having this freedom in my life, and like creating my life the way I want to. And also I needed to learn to really prioritize things, because when you have so much energy, you have like I had too many ideas. I wanted to do everything, and like at once. So everything would excite me. Like I would be curious about everything. But then I learned, okay, just one step at a time, one priority at a time, because then you just won't do anything. But a lot of opportunities opened up. Like I connected with people like so well. Oh, and one big thing that before this fasting, for example, I would be like terrified, for example, to speak in front of like many people, especially on Zoom. I don't know why. But after fasting, it was just like natural. I started to speak in front of like 120 people. Like I felt like I would surprise myself like every day. And sometimes I would look in the mirror and think like, who is this person? Because like I even looked very differently, of course. I lost a lot of weight and my face changed. And I thought, who is this person? And my thoughts are different and I don't recognize myself. And sometimes I don't recognize my life. And it was a bit difficult that I didn't know what was normal anymore. So sometimes in some moments I would miss that normal, but then just for a short time. Like one of the best benefits is actually you save a lot of money, because I stopped using any kind of herbs, supplements. I stopped seeing like health professionals, like natural professionals, like functional medicine, nutritionist, kinesiologist, something else. So yeah, like my cupboards are still full of supplements, and I try not to touch them. One thing that I became very sensitive with my digestion, because I had digestive problems before. So in a way, I felt this exacerbation of digestive problems. I had to be like careful with the food, and at some point it was tiring because I was kind of had to be in the kitchen a lot and cook, you know, for myself and eat, because I wanted to come back to fasting again. So for me, the biggest worry was to gain my weight back, and the more I worried, like the more like the weight wouldn't come back, you know, I wouldn't put on weight. I was like under 50 kilograms for quite a while, and then suddenly and then I just kind of reached almost my normal weight. Also, the other thing is that my body changed quite a bit, so I needed to start exercising and getting my strength back. And like I started to lift weights because I lost all my assets really. So I really needed to build my body. But this is exciting because in a way, like you have a chance to grow your new body the way like you want to grow a new healthy body, because we need to live in our bodies, and the healthier we are, like the better we feel. Yeah. And also, what else was difficult? Yeah, just like then spending a lot of money on food and eating and cooking and then eating again. And just but I was so grateful to be coming back again. I didn't feel that I really needed to come back again, but Dr. Sergey, he told me that it would be good for me because I had a pituitary adenoma, which is like a benign tumor on my pituitary that was caused by like too much stress at work some years ago, like 5 years ago. I had MRI scan, and in a way it was worrying me because it was messing up with my hormones. And the doctors were saying that it will be difficult for me to conceive children naturally. And of course, and you hear that a lot from medical doctors, so that's why I came back in a way to undo all the damage I caused to myself through stress and through putting myself in all the stressful situations, not having boundaries like with work. And actually, I don't know why I did it, but now I got this chance to really like undo all the damage and just start my life like really in a balanced way, to have like healthy work patterns and boundaries, and just be relaxed and in a way look after myself, because I worked as a worked as a carer for like 8 years, so I was looking after others. but in a way I sacrificed some of my health. So, and that needed really to change for me to actually prepare myself to become a mother myself. You know, I needed to prepare my body, and I affirm that my body is a temple, and I really honor myself now, and I love myself enough to really do the right thing. And I got, after this fast, the discipline really improved with the self-love, because now I can really do the right thing for myself, and it doesn't require, such big effort, because I really feel why I'm doing this. And Dr. Sergey Filonov and his whole team, they're just amazing, and I've never ever encountered a doctor like him, and I've never received treatments like he and his team offers, and I would suggest that to everyone. And even after the second fast, I felt like I healed even so much deeper.